All right, welcome to the after show because after we record a podcast that will be coming out 6 weeks later, we do a video for you guys. And this week we recorded on a Sunday. We usually do Saturdays, but Jerry Supe had some family matters to do on a Saturday. So, Charles, man, what's your beef
Yeah.
with me on Metallica, man?
Oh, well, first of all,
All right, well, he left.
No,
he
no, just
left, but he's still on there.
I,
My buddy, my all-time best buddy in the history of podcasting universe, Lee Gerstmann. I was like, what is he doing here? I don't know. It's freeform. I don't care. I
Mark got
love Lee,
drunk and invited him on accident.
love Lee to death and be expecting some more fan questions coming, Lee, when we review a couple records tomorrow. But anyway, um, I don't have a problem with Metallica. Ron Van Over, who was that guy I told you about? What was that guy's name?
Ron? I don't know.
No, not Ron. I'm drunk. I don't remember.
I
Some
don't
dude asked,
remember.
did you listen to all of 72 seasons?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I did.
No, he said you need to listen to it. That was what's
No,
his
I
name?
don't. I
John
don't.
Verno.
John Verno. John Verno.
Yeah, you heard it once. I don't
Understand,
think you
you
heard
were
it
there.
again.
Okay, cool. You were there when Kill 'Em All came out. Man, appreciate that, dude. I really do. I heard it. It's mediocre. And it's beyond mediocre. The only song I would care to hear live is Lux Eterna. And I like the singles, by the way. This proves you don't watch our videos. You don't listen to our shows. I've already said this before. I wanted to like 72 seasons because I'm not a Metallica hater. I thought it was mediocre. I've maintained that. I'm not going to change my mind. And Mark went and saw them twice, and that's cool. He might have been one of the few twats that wanted to hear the new songs. I would have loved to hear Lux Eterna live.
I heard
But the
that.
rest of them, but the rest of them, who cares?
72
And
seasons rules that song, dude. The title track.
well,
but by the way, before, wait a minute, Lee, and I'll turn it over to you. But before we get to John Verno's thing, they are number one as far as the big four of thrash, in my opinion. I love Metallica. I wanted to love that album. It was mediocre. That's how I see it. Meanwhile, people like Mark went with Night Ranger hats on to see Metallica, and that's cool. I ain't got no problem with that. But it was a mediocre album at best. That's all there is to it. I don't need to listen to it 90,000 times. It's not going to change my opinion.
At least 4 times. I think you would get it if you listened to it
No,
4 times.
I've
It's a
listened to it
grower.
more than 4 times, and it is not a masterpiece.
It is to me.
The last masterpiece they
a cap of the group Day Waitress instead of Night Ranger when I go.
I love Night Ranger, man.
the last masterpiece they made was Master of Puppets. I love the Black Album, by the way. I am one of those weirdos that I love the Black Album, but I think Master of Puppets was their last masterpiece, and I love Injustice for All too, by the way. But it's not a masterpiece, mainly because of the production. But
It was Fleming Remington. It did the first 2 albums or whatever his name was.
Hardwired is a good
Robinson.
album. I posted that today to get you fucking Metallica twats to get all upset like Mick Watkins. Sorry, I love you, but he got upset too.
Well, you bounced off of my post though.
I want to say
I did because ever since you saw Metallica, you've been they rule, they rule, they rule, they rule.
Dude, they fucking kick so much ass. Come on, man. It's like
something quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I started to listen to 72 seasons. I thought at first when I started hearing, maybe it's going to be a little better than what Charles said. And then I was hearing a little more. I thought, And then I was straining. I went, oh no, Charles is being too kind.
Oh my God.
And I'm too kind.
How many times did you listen to it, Lee?
You mean
It's
how many
incredible.
songs did I
Did you
get?
just listen to it once and go fuck this album like I did with Saint Anger?
Oh, but you love Saint
I got
Anger.
pissed
Oh, I
off
hate Saint
after
Anger,
about.
but I like it live. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
might have
I'd go
made it
take
through
a piss.
2 songs in total.
You know what really pisses me off more, Lee, about this?
Huh.
Is I had to look at Mark complain about the two quote unquote emo bands on the second night. Why did you even listen to them?
Because we just wanted to go sit down because I fucking, I came off back surgery. So I had to go to
Why
my
don't you just
seats. We
go
were
when
out there drinking
Metallica?
beers and shit. We
Why
went
don't
in
you just
there
go? Why don't you just go when Metallica's gonna hit the stage?
because I wanted to sit down. There was no place to sit down on the outside. I
Why
can't
show up
stand that
at?
long.
Why
Huh?
show up at? They have
Because I
rules
don't
or
like to be late. I have a thing, dude. I can't be late to work or anywhere. I want to be there on time. But we
now
did sit out there for the first 30 minutes.
for
And then
Lee?
I had to go sit down, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking piece of shit. I
Okay.
can't stand up that long.
Oh, you're not a piece of shit. For Lee Gerstmann, a question from your anonymous fan. Because we did a review of Taylor Swift, which is kicking ass on the Freeform Rock podcast, by the way.
Okay, I didn't think I was that drunk or I would have forgotten
Oh.
us doing it,
What do
but
you
yeah.
think? She asked, what do you think of Taylor Swift?
I bought a notebook of her because I like how she looks, and it was influencing me to write stuff. It was only $2. There was a notebook of binder paper with a really pretty picture of her on it. I actually got 2 of them, 2 different pictures. I really like the Taylor Swift notebooks. They're cheap and they're pretty. That's what I think.
Well, there you go. But you haven't heard her songs yet.
I have I there's one album of hers that even though I'm not gonna buy it, I'm gonna say it doesn't make me feel sick when I hear it. But most of her stuff, it's like it
It's not horrible.
forgettable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not horrible. But it's not
Shane,
horrible.
come back.
Well, I mean, but
I'm here.
Mark
Here.
Taylor on for months about how horrible Taylor Swift is. And okay,
It's like gum
Metallica,
without flavor.
Well, that
At
album
least
we did didn't change
make
my
it
mind.
Metallica beat her on one night in SoFi, but that's the way the stage was set up. Yeah, stick your tongue out. And
I was
guarantee
there. I was part of
I
that record.
guarantee it was with Pantera. It
Oh,
wasn't that
Pantera was
Sunday.
amazing.
It wasn't the Sunday night.
I even called John. I even called James
I
West
don't
and told him how
don't love
amazing
I
Pantera
don't
was.
love I don't love Tay Tay like that.
Was
But
who's
she's 10 but she's 10 million albums off of Metallica. As
oh
far
was
as
She's like
sorry.
Beatlemania right now, dude.
Was
Total
Phil
Beatlemania.
Anselmo singing?
Yes.
All right, well then he's interesting.
Oh,
I
dude, he was
prefer to
amazing.
I prefer to hear a solo thing of him, especially on a night when he gets drunk and makes the crowd rowdy.
I don't know.
That would be
I don't
okay.
Hey,
know, Lee. I don't
Aquaman.
know.
Aquaman was there for both nights, starting his own pit. Jason Momoa. How
I don't know,
about that?
Lee. I don't know, Lee, because we just reviewed a Hank Williams the third metal album, and I saw Superjoint Ritual with
Yeah.
Hank Williams third, and I have to say honestly, they sucked.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
that the
they
name
got
of that
booed off the stage.
sounds weird by itself. It doesn't sound like a group. Sounds like you'd see people in snorkel masks doing Richard Simmons Robicize.
Hank the third was, I think, deep in his drug addicted time.
Oh,
So I think that's why it didn't sound that great. There's only 2 concerts I heard worse than that. Scott Weiland, and he died
Oh.
like a month later.
All right.
And Heel Fest, which is the worst fucking concert I've ever been to in my life.
And me
Would
and
you
Jerry had COVID at Keel
with
Fest.
Scott Weiland?
It's like fucking
With
A.
Scott Weiland, at least, even if it sucked, the songs were supposed to be good. Whereas
Yeah.
with Keel Fest, the songs
Oh,
even meant to be good.
I don't like the first album.
but Scott
Well,
Weiland did Roadhouse Blues by the Doors, and that one was good. He did
Hey,
a good version of that.
you need to ask Mooger what he missed out on. That we were talking about Metallica 72 seasons. What's your opinion on that?
On
we're
mute.
You're sounding very reverby, buddy.
I don't know.
You
You're
like
echoing.
76 seasons, Mooger Fooger.
What's the question?
You like 72 seasons by Metallica.
I love everything Metallica's ever put out. Everything.
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 Even Lulu.
Everything.
Saint
I
Anger.
love Saint Anger. I love all the
Oh,
loads and reloads. And I love the very first 4 albums. I mean, come on. Forget about it. They are one of the most consistent bands that you're ever going to hear.
Well, I mean, 100%. They are the most successful metal band in the history of the
I didn't say
business.
successful. I said consistent.
I
You're
will say
echoing, dude.
successful. I will say the most successful. Bushy, Iron Maiden can't touch Metallica. You want to tell why? I'm going to say why. Because Metallica can play stadiums anywhere in the world. Maiden
So
cannot.
can Maiden. So can Maiden.
No, they can't. They're not
Not
playing
in the
stadiums.
US. They
Yes.
played soccer stadiums in the USA. I saw them on the Book of
No,
Souls.
they aren't. They're only playing select markets in the US.
Yeah.
They're not playing everywhere. Metallica can play all over the
Oh,
world.
that's true.
The most successful metal band ever is Metallica. Didn't say the best, saying the most successful.
yeah.
I'll
Now-
go with you on that one.
All right, but
Who did you take? Lee Gerstmann, my
Yeah.
motherfucking teacher of souls. Who do you think is better, Metallica or Iron Maiden?
Oh, God damn it.
Do you mind if I
asking all of
push
us or you asking me?
water and then take a few more sips and then I can tell you?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, only
Mark will only say Bruce Iron Maiden is better.
I like Bruce. I like all Iron Maiden except for Blaze. So
You
But-
said Iron Maiden or Metallica, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
I'm
going
going to go Metallica only because they have a better discography than Maiden. Maiden has a lot of great records, but they have some stinkers in between.
Blaze
first-
and Bailey albums
All right.
for one thing.
The first two are great.
They are.
all right. I'm going to
Let's give it Lee.
I'm going to say that with one particular band, even though they both have occasional material that's a little bit not to my taste, overall, the bad stuff by one band is better than the bad stuff by the other. So my choice is Metallica.
Thank you, sir.
I would
Because
agree with Metallica too, because Blaze Bailey albums are horrible.
even though I don't like all of Metallica, at least I don't fall asleep when I hear them.
Yeah. But here's the big question. There is no, in my opinion, by the way, there's no replacement of the fourth of the big four. It's Anthrax, in my
Yes.
opinion. Okay.
Exodus
rate-
number 5.
I rate the big four as Metallica, John Verno, by the way. I like Metallica. I just got you people talking on the Facebook group.
Yeah, we like to create
Metallica.
drama so we get people to think about us. Yeah. Okay.
but I put Slayer number 2, Megadeth 3, Anthrax 4. But
I
I
put
think
Slayer last.
Anthrax had the best debut album. By the way, in Fistful of Metal. I'm gonna turn it over to the floor. Go ahead. How do you rate the big four, and how do you rate their debut albums?
I'll go next. I rate Metallica 1, Kill 'Em All. I then Megadeth number 2. What was it? Killing is my business. What was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I go for Anthrax number 3. I don't really care for Fistful of Metal, but their second album is better with Joey on it. And then Slayer, I don't even like Slayer, so they're like a distant whatever. I'm never going to listen to them. 4. Lee, what about you?
Okay. Even though I don't always like some of what what Slayer sings about, I will say that musically, well, because I don't always care for what they sing about, I'm not going to put Show No Mercy as being the first, but I will say it's the second. Anthrax, I haven't even heard that album, so I can't really rate it. It's going to be number 4 just because I haven't heard it. Megadeth and Metallica, I would say Kill 'Em All is probably the first because Killing Is My Business. I liked it, but I thought that in a way it's like the polish wasn't on yet. It was like they had a good album, but they kind of like maybe, oops, I did a wrong chord. Oops, you did a wrong chord. Let's just keep going. And so it was raw and the potential was there, but it was unpolished. So that's the reason why. So Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax in that order.
Well, before we get to the other guys, Lee,
Yeah.
since we're doing 2 of your album picks, the third is mine, and we're gonna do Fistful of Metal, Anthrax.
You gotta make them listen to it.
You know what?
I want to hear that
That's
episode.
fair. That's fair because you know,
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised, but I don't want to get too deep in the weeds.
well, the only thing that I will say is that I always had heard of it. I do need to hear it.
Yeah, I think so. I really do.
So Mooger, why are you wearing the same
yeah,
shirt?
I'm
I will
wearing the
do
same shirt too.
You weren't on BS on Thursday. He was, and he's wearing Tesla.
Well, he's just trying to kiss up to you here a little bit.
What's your
Put on a
ranking of the
Night
big
Ranger
4?
shirt next
Mooger?
time, or LA Guns with Phil Lewis.
Hey, I like it. I like the one album with Jizzy too. So there you go.
Yeah, but you don't like
Anyway,
those Steve.
the way I would rate this is Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax, Overkill. Sorry. That's
See,
another-
we all picked something different. That's cool.
Yeah, man. So
I mean, I think Anthrax is, spoiler alert, Lee, I think it's their best
I
album.
grew up with Anthrax. I grew up with Metallica. I grew up with Overkill. I grew up with Slayer. I
There's
love it
nothing
all.
wrong with Kill 'Em All. I mean,
Yes,
Kill
sir.
'Em All is phenomenal.
you reminded me of a
I'm-
Rush album
sure.
called Test for Echo.
I will
Shane.
say this, and I think even Mark Auditore hates metal. He will agree. Americans, we rule on thrash.
Yes.
Maybe not on all metal genres, but we rule on thrash. I've had some people send me European thrash band. No,
No,
just don't have it. No,
they don't have the groove in Europe thrash.
we rule on that. They do great on symphonic metal. They do great on traditional metal, but not thrash.
Power metal.
We made that. Nobody touches us.
Yeah.
And by the way, John Burno, I love Metallica.
Metallica might have been influenced by European.
Yeah,
They
were.
did, but they took it to another level.
Diamond
Yeah.
Head and stuff like
They
that.
did.
Yeah.
And hey, Bushy, Iron Maiden is not debatable. Metallica crushes Iron Maiden on popularity. They play stadiums all over the world.
And Dave
Iron
Mustaine wishes
Maiden,
he was back in Metallica.
I agree with that one too. When Iron Maiden plays arenas in select markets in the US, they
And
play
there's
they play stadiums around the world, but not in the US. Metallica plays stadiums everywhere. And you know who they compare to, Mark and Taylor?
Yeah.
As far as popularity in the US?
Taylor Swift,
Oasis.
Oasis.
One of the greatest
All right.
rock and roll.
Well, there was two groups back when I was in high school, which I hadn't heard. I still haven't heard, but I probably should, because they were, well, I was kind of in the metal and different stuff back then, you know, and one group was called Virgin Steel. And at that time, the reason why I couldn't really hear them is because you had to like mail order to get the album, and I figured, well, if I can't go to the store to get it, then I'm too lazy to in a envelope to mail order it. And the other group, I just didn't get a chance to try them, with Sirith Ungol. That was a group that
Love them. Love them.
huh? Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
Sirith Ungol.
You never brought these albums up to review. I would have liked to hear those.
What I'm saying is I
What
haven't
for
heard
you?
them.
Oh,
So there's stuff on my to-do list.
okay.
Yeah, and Mark, it's too much for you.
No, whatever. Shut up. I like what's that album you did? Dude, we did Chelsea. Nobody else did Chelsea. Nobody still hasn't done Chelsea.
I wasn't
They
on
did it
that.
after we did it.
That was
Yeah.
Peter Criss
Yeah.
with Stan Bench. Yeah.
But the way they did it, they didn't do it.
I hate Beth.
They didn't do it as good as we did it. I mean, even though we didn't
like
give
Hooligan.
these sound samples, the thing is, you know,
Lee.
I don't
Lee
care
Gerstmann.
one way or the other about sound samples.
Lee
But-
Gerstmann.
Yeah.
He's like my surrogate, like almost pappy. Did Beth
Like I'm the cast on your leg who has a mouth in
Yes.
it and keeps whispering groups to you.
did Beth not save Kiss?
I know Beth Saved Kiss. Doesn't mean it's a good song.
Did Beth
I-
not save
I
Kiss?
mimic
Lee?
what
Well,
Mark
you guess
said.
you like Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way. That's a
Okay,
great
well,
song,
whether you
too.
like it or not, Lee, did Beth not save Kiss?
Yes, it did not save Kiss.
It
didn't?
inspired the Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block, man. There you go, Beth.
Which
The song that I heard from them was Rock and Roll All Night that got me into them.
this man,
That's
man,
old.
I will say
this man made us do the babies, and that is an abortion of God, almost like Hagar level.
I love John Waite, the babies, man. Sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that, man.
at least Beth is only like a 3-minute song on an album that's better.
Midnight
The
Rendezvous
Babies
beats Beth
Had
hands down.
maybe
Midnight
only
Rendezvous.
3 minutes of
On a
possibly
midnight
not
rendezvous.
rotten sound
That
bites
riff?
in between that album.
Fuck.
I'll give Mark credit. I mean, he big up songs like Midnight Rendezvous. And
Midnight Rendezvous is way better than Beth.
Yeah, not really, but we get a lot of trailer park
yes.
women to join
At
the
least-
group. Facebook
least
group.
I
half-
hate Missing You by
Half
John
moldy
Waite is
meat
better than Beth.
fully molded. Half
John
moldy meat
Waite.
is better than fully moldy.
Oh God, I want to do
John
I want to
Waite.
do John Waite no breaks now.
I
Just
think
a
John
fuck-
Waite cream pied Sammy Hagar, and then they made Bad English.
I love Bad English. Both albums are fucking amazing. Whiplash.
There is
Debut.
Of course you
a
do.
channel on YouTube. I won't necessarily mention it, because I don't want people to take advantage of listening to good stuff. But this guy, he does stereo remakes or remixes of stuff and makes them sound totally better. So the next time, Charles, we do a review of a certain album, I want to give you the stereo remixes so then you can hear them at full throttle instead of listening to the
you did that
boring
to me.
shit.
You gave me a mono mix and a stereo remix. You told me to listen to eat both of them and compare them.
Well, let me say
I forgot
this.
what album that was.
Let me say this.
Yeah. Well, I know what album it is. I won't say, but I will say that it was totally your choice.
Lee.
It was totally your choice whether you want to hear him or not, Mark. Yeah.
Okay,
Mooger?
we got you. Let's let Charles respond here.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to finish this, but yeah, I'm sorry, Charles.
I know you
go
are.
on.
That's
Let
cool.
me say this.
That's cool.
Let me say
Yep.
this.
Charles, what do you got to say about all this?
First of all, Mooger, you rule, dude. And
Duh.
loved
Mooger rules.
the whole rock pod experience other than Lee didn't come.
Yeah.
Next year I'll make sure you come. But and not
Next
sexual.
year I don't want Mark to come. But anyway, go on.
Well, I probably won't. There you go.
I'm kidding for people who don't.
Lee, if you met me, you wouldn't leave me. So there you go.
But
Actually, if I ever do go to where you live in that area, which I rarely ever do, I will specifically let you know so that we can meet.
All right.
wouldn't want to because
Well, you have a spare bedroom. You can spend a night. There you go.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Charles, as you were saying, sir.
Yeah, it's the United Socialist Soviet Republic of California where he lives. But anyway, what the fuck was I gonna say? I'm lost.
We were going on about
something about mono. No, something.
Van Halen.
Man, I'm drunk as fuck. But
an album or something.
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, I mean, we would have a great time there, even though Mark is totally on Hagar, and so is Mooger. I don't understand that.
Love you, Mark.
Love you too, man.
I
love all you guys.
The world.
Except Lee. I don't love Lee. You don't like the word love. I like Lee. There you go.
Okay, I got to announce to the world.
Like Lee is good.
I got to announce to the world right now. I'm going to get ordained tomorrow. Universal Life Church. They give you a ordination, and my church is going to be fuck Sammy Hagar Church. So I'm looking for acolytes and deacons.
Well, I can't be a prophet of that church. There you go.
No, you couldn't.
No, I can't.
But anyway, what I was
you wouldn't profit anyway.
What I was going to get to was the first time I was on Freeform Rock Podcast.
Don't bring up Damn Yankees again, man.
As a guest was Damn Yankees. And I literally thought, hell yeah. Because the first time I ever did a podcast was an album I love, Wings Over America. So it was a love fest. And I literally thought, like, hell yeah, this is something I can make fun of and clown. And Lee can tell the truth because of my performance on that episode. He knew I was a square guy. Right, Lee?
Square meaning like right on.
But you know what? You know, Lee picks a lot of albums to get even with me. That was one of the ones I knew he hated. Damn Yankees.
Mark was like, I mean, he told me like,
you know what?
I thought we were going to make fun
actually
of it
hoping that it was going to be pretty okay.
Well, it was great to me.
It was
to be wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Rock City, fucking. Like that album rules. Come Again. Like there's not one bad song out that Damn Yankees debut album. Uncle Ted, even High Enough fucking rules. I fucking love that album. I ain't gonna apologize.
Do you know that I will say that there is some stuff that Ted Nugent does that I'm not completely
Oh,
a fan.
pile driver rules.
Pile driver rules.
I didn't say that.
Hey, guess
But
what, Charles? Don't tread has not been reviewed on this podcast yet.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I love everybody.
Hey,
Love you.
thank you, man.
I don't
But
give a shit what your fucking whether you like Sandy Hagar or don't, or Trump or don't. I don't give a shit. I just love hanging out with you guys.
We
I
love hanging
agree.
out with you, man.
Hey,
I
that's
agree.
cool.
Thank you
But-
for having me, Mark.
Yeah.
But I thank Mark Alden Taylor for inviting me on Damn Yankees, and I laugh at. I'm thinking we're gonna make fun of it like a motherfucker, and Lee was like, "You're great," and Mark was like upset because he likes Damn Yankees.
I'm
Well-
not apologizing for it.
You know what, Charles? I didn't like I had,
That made my bones
talked with you a
Lee,
little
right?
bit, but I didn't know how you would be. And right away I was like, for a guy who apparently doesn't know what he's doing,
But
you're
you
you're
don't
better than a lot of people who do know what they're doing. And then when I heard your opinions, I'm like, whoa, this guy is selling himself short. He's better than he thinks.
well, why don't I get credit? Who's the one who invited Charles
Because
on the
he
podcast?
liked Damn Yankees.
Okay, but the thing is, Charles, because you did that episode and you were yourself,
Yeah.
you gave honest fucking opinions. I respected that to bring you on here full time later. You see,
I
and you
want
were a
I
major
want to
guest.
compliment you,
You were-
Mark.
You were a guest a lot of times, and we didn't pick you up.
Well,
We didn't bring you on that Kiss album. I'm sorry for that. We will have to redo that Kiss album for you.
I am
Why?
going
My
to
fan
compliment
is
you now,
dumb.
Mark.
But
The first
But-
time that
Let
that
Mooger go.
I-
Let Mooger go.
but between
right.
all of y'all, it's like I've been on a few different episodes and different bands. Charles, I love your point of fact. You just like you say it like it is. Lee, I'm just now meeting you. I don't know what you're drinking, but
Vodka and water.
Taco.
He has to have a chaser. He's weak.
and
I just drink
Mark,
the whiskey.
Mark, thank you for always having me back. I don't know why.
Well,
I'm
it's
gonna get a little more
dude. It's
water.
not just me. Charles and Jerry want you on too. It's like I say, I'm getting a Mooger Fooger. They go, fuck yeah. So
Mooger, your Mark has a week, and by the way, Mooger before Mooger dumps me. is
I'm-
fucking-
I'm going to give you a
I'm going to tell you. Well, before you say something, Lee, Chris and Zach met him personally, and Aaron Camaro at the
Yes.
same barbecue,
pimps.
Yes.
and Chris said, "I'm glad you're on Freeform because I rule." And I said, "Thank you."
Well,
He
I've
was
said
awesome.
that to you millions of times that you
Yeah.
rule, but I don't
Awesome.
get compliment for that either. All right, whatever.
Well, you won't because you wear a Night Ranger hat. But he's cool. And I went with that. But you know, all I do is just say what the fuck I feel. Suck my taint on a Beatles episode.
I love that. That
Mine-
Abbey Road episode. You guys need to go listen to Abbey Road. We're two fucking drunk motherfuckers with no notes. I had a book. that would
None.
give you
Zero.
I had no.
I
I had a
call it-
book, which Lee hates
Dude.
that fucking Beatles book.
I
So
have
used
it.
before.
I actually have it. And
Yeah.
Lee, I called George.
I just didn't like the fact that he kept reciting on it for 5 minutes each
Hey,
song.
Didn't I do it pretty short on that? I just did little short because you
Lee, I
taught me
called-
that.
Yeah, it was shorter
George Martin.
than 10 minutes. It was 5
Lee, I
minutes.
I did it
George-
like 60 seconds. Little facts. That was it.
No, 5 minutes.
Well, with Charles, it was smaller.
Yeah, but
Yeah, with me it
don't
was
mind.
bigger. It's always bigger with me.
Well, because I was
I don't
learning with
mind.
you.
I don't mind it because the Beatles are the greatest of all time. There would be no Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And Mark Daly, watch this video. Black Sabbath people can continue to suck my taint. There would be no Black Sabbath without the Beatles. And that's all there is to it because they saved rock and roll, not the Rolling Stones. not anybody, because at that time you had, what do we have? We had these lame groups lead, you had Dion, you had, because Chuck Berry in
Okay,
jail.
I guess then we're not
Chuck
going to
Berry
review
was
that
in
one
jail,
Dion album
right?
that I
Hey,
like.
I'm waiting for Lee to give me my compliment. We got to end
Chuck
this like
Berry
quick.
was
Yeah.
in jail.
I got to go
I
drink
mean,
some beer and go to a barbecue. So
You
let's go,
quoted the
man.
book by
I
Robert
need to give him
Rodriguez.
a compliment.
Let him give him the compliment.
You quoted
None
the
of
book
this
by
happens
Robert
without
Rodriguez.
Elvis Presley. I'm
That's
sorry.
true.
Elvis Presley's the king.
Bill
John-
Haley.
None of this happens.
Bill
Chuck Berry
Haley.
doesn't happen.
If you
Elvis
listen,
doesn't happen.
Mooger,
Beatles
Mooger,
don't happen.
Agrees.
Mooger, if you listen to the review, John Lennon, quote, there would be no, without Elvis, there is nothing. John Lennon has stated Elvis is the king. The point
Ricky
is,
Nelson I like
All right.
better.
I got to
At
speed
that
this up
time.
because I got to get out of here. Like,
You
10
can
Okay,
minutes.
like
Mark,
the
I'm
Beatles
going to
better
give
than
you the
Elvis.
compliment.
You
I'm
can
going to
like
tell
Chuck
you
Berry
something.
I
better
love
than
Elvis. I was on that
Didn't happen
episode. Me
without
and
Elvis.
Charles agreed about without
I'm
Elvis, there
just
would
going
have
to
been
give you the
Beatles.
compliment, and if you want to talk over me, that's fine. But
Go ahead.
Mark, you actually have a good podcasting style. You have a good way about you. You're a good guy. You know what you're doing. I will say that my opinion is that maybe musically you're all over the place, but that's on you. But
Are you talking to me?
But
No, me.
no, I'm talking to Mark. Sorry,
Mark, okay.
I'm not yelling at you, Mooger. I'm just making a point. I'm like popcorn,
No.
pop. Sorry, but anyway, so Mark, that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, Mark, you're cool. I will say sometimes when you purposefully sell yourself short, as a joke, it's kind of a little bit weird. And but I would say, other than being a little bit more like a Wayne's World, but even sloppier, I would say though that you're
You're talking about my
you have
heroes there.
potential. You have potential. And in 20 years you'll be perfect.
Wayne and Garth rule.
I don't think he has
but you're,
Hey,
I mean,
I put
other than the fact that you pick good groups but they're worst albums, you have a good professional ability to do
show.
That's all.
just because I picked that last Lion album. Damn.
I have to say, because I'm a replacement for the.
I gotta hurry up, man. We gotta hurry up.
Okay, but you got a few more minutes. I gotta say replacement for.
You do a very good podcast, and I love you for that.
Well, I'm humble, man. I like to put Charles and Jerry up in the forefront, and Lee, I put him in the top.
You don't have to put me in the forefront because I am the star of the show. But on the other end, yeah,
Charles, I love you. Thank you. You're like I picked my equal. We're about the same age. We know about the same music. So
I picked Lee to be on a podcast with me because the guy is honest. I love his, and I picked you and Jerry the same thing. I don't want people licking my ass, liking everything I like. That's fucking boring.
I'm not gonna lick your ass because you.
That's great.
You don't like good music, but in the end,
I don't like metal, right? Yeah.
You don't like metal, and you only started liking Oasis.
Ass Jack was a very ballsy move.
Hey man, but don't give any review. That's not coming out for a while.
That's fine, but Ass Jack was a ballsy move because I love Hank 3. I love his country stuff way better than I do his heavy metal stuff.
Hey,
he's got a whole genre.
If you want to do,
I never agree.
You want to do an album with us next week? We're doing Double Live Gonzo on Saturday.
But Mooger's got a better goatee than me, by the way. God damn it.
He's getting that feeling soft. He's getting that fucking
cut mine down. But
you'll get there.
He's getting that
But-
Dimebag Daryl one going.
I've
Man.
also got a bunch of caulk on my arm because I've been renovating a bathroom.
All right,
the
guys. Any
great-
final thoughts? I
Wait,
gotta get out of here.
yeah, god damn it.
I gotta
The
pee
great
too,
Lee
man.
Gerstmann
It's
knows.
getting there. It's getting there.
Great Lee Gerstmann knows
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Mark, his music opinion sucks, but I mean, but he's a good host.
Yeah.
But let us professionals do what we gotta
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
man.
fuck
You're
off. I
dumb.
edit.
Lee.
I put the
Lee.
shit in.
Let
Lee.
Mark
I
do
promote.
the
Fuck this shit.
introduction to our.
Lee, where do
to
you
the
where do you
podcast.
hail from?
I was born in California.
Yeah.
Is that
I
where
am
you
now
live?
in New York.
Okay.
I like New York better.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why they're both this fucked up states, but
True.
all right, man.
Mark
Let's,
is
But
a
I would say,
California guy. Where are you
remind
at?
me,
I'm
Charles.
just-
Remind me later if I
Where am I
forget.
at?
I
Wait a
might
minute.
want to do a
I gotta
Joe
go,
Tex,
guys. Man, I gotta
Where?
go.
Okay,
a
hold
Joe
on.
Tex
We
review
were
with
asking
you
where I'm
sometime.
at.
I just want to
Okay.
say, we might remind me later. I might want to do a Joe Tex album with you later sometime for a
All
review.
right,
That's
guys,
all I
let's-
want.
Let's get this
Okay.
shit done, man.
I
Take
am a fucking product of the world. I grew up in Ohio. But I joined the army and I'm now in Bolesławiec, Poland.
Yeah. Well, I
Living-
fucking grew up in Hacienda Heights, 30 miles out of LA. I went to Tower Records on Sunset Strip. I've seen the Sunset Strip. I've seen Gazares. I've seen all those fucking clubs. I love fucking metal, just not the metal you fucking like. And let's get the
all
fuck
that
out of here.
time. And all
All
that
right.
time.
Why do you sound like a
and
goddamn
all that
robot?
time you stood up for Hagar.
Why do you sound like you're echoing?
I don't know.
You sound like you're echoing.
No, you're echoing.
Peace,
to me.
everybody.
All right, take it easy, guys. Later.
Take it easy, guys. Love you
Peace.
guys. Bye.
Bye.